and you may in part easily learn the right religion from the ancient Sibyl, who by some kind of potent inspiration teaches you, through her oracular predictions, truths which seem to be much akin to the teaching of the prophets. She, they say, was of Babylonian extraction, being the daughter of Berosus, who wrote the Chaldean history. And when she had crossed over, how I know not, into the region of Campania, she there uttered her oracular sayings in a city called Cumae, 6 miles from Baiae, where the hot springs of Campania are found. And being in that city, we saw also a certain place in which we were shown a very large basilica cut out of one stone, a vast affair and worthy of all admiration. And they who had heard it from their fathers as part of their country's tradition told us that it was here she used to publish her oracles. And in the middle of the basilica they showed us 3 receptacles cut out of one stone, in which when filled with water they said that she washed, and having put on her robe again, retires into the inmost chamber of the basilica, which is still a part of the one stone, and sitting in the middle of the chamber on a high rostrum and throne, thus proclaims her oracles. And both by many other writers has the Sibyl been mentioned as a prophetess, and also by Plato in his Phaedrus. And Plato seems to me to have counted prophets divinely inspired when he read her prophecies. For he saw that what she had long ago predicted was accomplished, and on this account he expresses in the dialogue with Meno his wonder at and admiration of prophets in the following terms: those whom we now call prophetic persons, we should rightly name divine. And not least would we say that they are divine, and are raised to the prophetic ecstasy by the inspiration and possession of God, when they correctly speak of many and important matters, and yet know nothing of what they are saying, plainly and manifestly referring to the prophecies of the Sibyl. For, unlike the poets who, after their poems are penned, have power to correct and polish, especially in the way of increasing the accuracy of their verse, she was filled indeed with prophecy at the time of the inspiration, but as soon as the inspiration ceased, there ceased also the remembrance of all she had said. And this indeed was the cause why some only, and not all, the meters of the verses of the Sibyl were preserved. For we ourselves, when in that city, ascertained from our Cicerone, who showed us the places in which she used to prophesy, that there was a certain coffer made of brass in which they said that her remains were preserved. And besides all else which they told us as they had heard it from their fathers, they said also that they who then took down her prophecies, being illiterate persons, often went quite astray from the accuracy of the meters. And this, they said, was the cause of the want of meter in some of the verses, the prophetess having no remembrance of what she had said after the possession and inspiration ceased, and the reporters having, through their lack of education, failed to record the meters with accuracy. And on this account, it is manifest that Plato had an eye to the prophecies of the Sibyl when he said this about prophets, for he said, when they correctly speak of many and important matters, and yet know nothing of what they are saying.